the fact that with customers, that's the end users, surface prep is more like an invisible cost.
Or you have to tell the customer that you need to do this because this area is, they'll just think that maybe you just want to
get more out of them.
Get more out of them.
Irrespective of the amount you buy paint, if you do not do proper surface prep, it would still fail.
Welcome to the Caplux Foundation Series, where we explore the science, the stories, and the strategies behind the perfect paint finish. My name is Opeyemi, and today's discussion dives into a topic that every sales, retail, and technical person in our industry has faced, and that is selling the invisible. Why surface prep is such a hard sell. Before we get into the conversation, a little context about Caplux. It is the surface preparation brand in the CAP PLC's portfolio, sitting right at the foundation of CAP certified coating system. While Deluxe and Santex bring beauty and color to walls, Caplux ensures that beauty lasts. It is the science beneath the surface that guarantees a smooth, durable, and long-lasting finish. In short, Caplux is the performance layer that protects every coat of paint that comes after. Because you can't see surface prep, customers often underestimate its value. They want color, not chemistry. They see cost, not longevity. So how do we sell what's invincible yet essential? That's what we're unpacking today with two members of our brilliant sales team who deal with this reality every single day. Please join me in welcoming Nkem, Ejimba, and Precious Nmom, both key account managers with our retail sales department. Nkem, a seasoned professional who has seen the Caplux journey evolve across multiple markets. And Precious, one of our newer voices in sales, who brings fresh perspective and an on-the-ground experience engaging homeowners, interior designers, and painters. Welcome, Nkem and Precious.
Thank you, Opeyemi.
So let's start with the big picture. Surface prep is foundational, but it's not visible. Once the paint goes on, the customer most likely forgets that it ever existed. So Nkem, you've been in the business long enough to know how the market has evolved. So how has the surface prep market evolved over the years, and how has it changed from what you knew to what currently is?
Okay, so for me, with customers, I think it's like a three-way thing. So first, you have the fact that with customers, that's the end users, surface prep is more like an invisible cost. So you have, they're more concerned about the final finish. They're more concerned with the colors, the final thing you see at the end of the day. Surface prep is what is done before, which really does not concern, or would I say it's not really important to the homeowners or the end users of the paint. And then you now have the issue with the painters. So for the not so professional painters, there's just this little challenge with, it's going to take me extra time. I'm going to be using more time to do this thing. And then they just really do not see the need for painters who are not so professional. So that's one, that's another challenge that we have. And another thing is most consumers, they look at it as, once I buy top quality products, whatever else is beneath it doesn't matter. The top quality product should be able to do everything. It should be able to, do the surface prep and all that. But what people don't realize is, irrespective of the amount you buy paint, if you do not do proper surface prep, it would still fail. Exactly. And how has it changed over the years? I would say customers are beginning to appreciate surface prep more than before, because now you have customers, walk into the office, they want to make inquiries on their own. Most customers don't just leave it only to their painters. They come into the office, they want to make inquiries. They want to understand exactly what would go on. And then the way sales runs now, you come to the site, you do your quotations, you market, and then it gives you an opportunity to discuss with the client. To discuss with the client directly. And sometimes, so you can skip the quote-unquote unprofessional painter and sell or market the value to the customer. And then the customer can in turn insist that the painter uses it.
I see. Okay, so Precious, you're dealing with today's market. Social media driven, cost sensitive, and very impatient. What kind of attitudes do you see when you pitch or when you bring up Caplux surface prep to customers?
Okay, so primarily, like Nkem has said, customers are always centered on the final outlook of the surface, the aesthetics. feel, and they're not so centered on what goes on before the process. They're most likely never even there. They just want to come back and see that, oh,
the house is beautiful.
The color is coloring, and all of that put together. So customers that haven't had that conversation with before about surface prep, and you bring it up, it sounds strange. They're most likely going to tell you like, what's that about? What does it do? And take a typical customer that walks into one of our stores and comes to get paint. They don't get to ask for surface prep. We just get to tell you, I need X amount of paint, I need this particular paint finish, I need this color, I need this quantity, and they are off. You understand? So other times when they come in and they see some items, I try to tell them about, like we have some branded items, I try to tell you that, oh, this is surface prep, this is a primer, this is this, try to tell you, oh, what does this do? And when you tell them the price, they're like, oh no, I already budgeted this X amount, this is not going to work for me. Is way over my budget, you understand? And even the painters, like she has said, the so unprofessional or not so sensitized ones, they don't even get to inform these clients of customers of the importance of this product before the final quote. So you have some form of resistance because of price, and also due to the fact that they've been using it over time without this preparation products, and you have some of the ills that come after that. It doesn't last long, or it fails, or they don't get comfortable with it at the end of the day, and they just go on in a circle. So this resistance comes in these various forms.
So it's usually a discussion of price, or does it have anything to do with awareness or low awareness as well?
Price is part of it, and the fact that most of them have been painting over the years without surface preparation products. Yes.
So they feel it's not necessary.
They feel it's not necessary, and they feel that it wouldn't affect the final result or how the lookout will be.
Okay. So let's get into the realities. We know all these moments when customers push back. Precious, when you introduce Caplux in store to a customer that walks into the store, what's the most common reaction that you get?
Okay, so when you tell a customer, okay, you need to prime these walls, and the customer is like, prime the walls? What for? And try to explain and tell the customer like, it'll make the wall do this, do that. Customers will be like, I don't have money for that. Like, just let me just stick with the paint. I'm fine with the paint. Or you get to tell the customer that you need to do this because this area is. They'll just think that maybe you just want to
get more out of them.
You understand? So we tend to allow them do what they are moved to do, because there's a temptation that you force them to get a particular thing, and the users of these products are not well grounded in how to either apply them or how to even use them properly, and it either fails or they get to encounter issues later on. Then they come back at you and look like, oh, don't mind those guys. They'll just tell you to buy something that doesn't work. You understand? So it has to go in line with proper education or sensitization of this product, the usage you apply, how long does it stay the curing period before you get to put the top coat, and even how to go about it. You understand? So some of this reaction comes, and because of the use of either sensitization, knowledge about it, or costs and all of that, or can you work without the product itself?
Yes, sir. Nkem, do these objections, do they differ? Like, are painters more resistant than homeowners, or are specifiers, for example, do they skip the entire surface prep conversation just to get more out of the sale? So how's that been? How's your experience been on that end?
From my experience, yes, objections differ. For customers, for some of them, they feel it's just an extra cost. And that's because most of the time they're influenced by their painters. So I'll say it still boils down to the painters, right? For specifiers, I think, the more you buy, the better for them. So a specifier will really be indifferent. But for painters and homeowners, some painters, like I said, the not so sensitized ones, to them it's an extra waste of time that they do not feel is really worth it. And that's, it stems from how they were trained. It stems from how they've been painting all these years. And that's for some. And for some others, it's like, let me finish this job and just go to face another project. So you have that from them. And surface prep is not cheap. It's not cheap. It's the background work that makes the expensive paint you bought rather look exactly.
Really,
So
really nice.
so for some clients, they are like, oh, let's just cut this cost, because you see a painter that will tell you, if you're buying surface prep, I will increase my money. And then the client can just say, oh, will this still work? And they're like, yes, it will be fine. Don't mind those people. So you have the issues from the painters, you have the issues from the homeowners. Well, not necessarily homeowners, because you even have engineers, who buy these products that are not interior designers, people who do not actually apply this paint. We're like more like I'll call them like the final end users of the paints. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much so from what you guys are saying, if you can name off the top of your head top three objections that you get from pitching surface prep.
I think first will be price. First will be price.
Some other persons will tell you, I've painted for several years without it.
And it has never failed.
Others will tell you that it doesn't really make any difference after I've used it, because they are not seeing the surface prep, the pre-surface layer. You understand, which is the surface prep before the final finish.
So they just feel like the paint just covers all.
It doesn't change the overall look of the finishing coat. Yeah,
I see. Now let's talk about educating without upselling. This is where the real skill comes in. Educating your customer without sounding like you're trying to upsell on them. Given your experience, how do you strike that balance? How do you explain the importance of surface prep to a customer without sounding like you want to get more sales out of them?
I want to answer this question. So now for me, when it comes to this particular this thing, I don't give my customers one option. I rarely do. I just like, the way the Bible says, I set before the life and death. So I give you the option of no surface prep. I give you the option of surface prep. I give you almost about 3 options. I tell you the advantage and disadvantage of each option. So I leave it to you to pick, because I would spell it all out. I would tell you, oh, if you use this, this is what you expect. This is what you expect. This is, how long you're looking at. This kind of durability you should expect from this option. This is what you'd expect from this option. This is what you expect from this option. So I pretty much lay all the cards on the table, and I try to be as open as possible, because let me just relate a scenario. It's something that happened, I think, about a year ago. So I sold to a customer, and his wall was a virgin wall, and I recommended alkali resistant primer, and the painter for some reason decided there was no need to use it. And then I told the customer, oh, this is what will happen, this is what will happen. And he was like, no, you just want to sell, you're not professional, you just want to get more money. And I was like, okay, but this is what may happen. And then a year down the line, he calls me and is like, Nkem, the paint has failed. And I'm like, okay, let me go to the site and have the site visits. I got to the site, I saw everything, and then calling him back to give him the report, he was like, oh, is it because we did not prime? And I said, you already know the answer.
So you already knew his fault.
Exactly, because he already knew. And then he was like, and that's where, some, would I say, homeowners or end users don't really get it. At the end of the day, they are the biggest losers, because the painter would have taken his money and gone.
Yeah.
The only thing
another label.
Exactly. So the only thing the painter loses is you're not calling him again.
Yeah.
But now, knowing the country that we're in, there is inflation, there is this. So if you probably paid 10 naira to paint this year, when your wall now has an issue, the paint may have gone up to like 15 naira. So you'd pay for labor again. You'd pay for products again.
Yeah.
Let's assume it's a high-rise building. You probably pay for scaffold again. Inconvenience.
And you not even pay for that solution that you were even
exactly.
trying to
So
avoid.
the solution you avoided, you would still pay for it. And at the end of the day, because with this particular customer, the particular solution or the particular stuff he was supposed to buy has more than doubled in price.
Wow.
And he's like, why? No, and I'm like, it's just a sad reality. Exactly. So God bless you. So I think that's more like it's yeah.
So for you, what's been the most effective way to simplify the Caplux message, like especially for painters and small contractors?
I mean, when you talk about passing out this message for Caplux, there are no better ways to say it than just to tell them the truth. Like she has said, they are ills. So I know that as humans first, before customers and clients, Humans, there's this resonation when you're telling the truth and when you're lying. We can somehow feel it. We know there's nothing new, but there are some things that are beyond us. They're like mysteries. So just tell me the truth. Okay, when this is the function of this product, there are areas in Lagos, on the island, water areas where you have damp issues, and they are prevalent. They know, they see it. It disturbs them. You understand? And sometimes new projects, virgin walls, when they erect these structures, you tell them, this area is prone to having these issues. There is a product that is designed to curb this issue. There's a product that is designed to prevent this issue from happening frequently.
On your walls.
I can tackle this damp issue, keep it for a longer time to serve you. There's a product that can help you from this water attack, this alkaline attack, or this, you understand?
Yeah.
There are contaminants in the atmosphere. If you're staying in an area, an industrial area, there are fumes. These fumes, they carry very, very hard chemicals that react with the surface. You understand? So you tell them that this product, because we have different kinds of surface preparation.
Yes.
Primer, there's plaster primer, there is the damp shield. They are all tied or geared towards treating a particular function or preventing a particular reaction. So just tell them the truth and what those purposes are there for. And to shock you, there are clients that come in and they will just tell you straight up, so this is what is happening to my wall. The paint is falling off. It is peeling.
Which is like one of the most common issues anyways.
Tell them the truth. There's a product for that. Damp shield, and it solves the problem. So I think that's just basically it. Tell them, or sometimes you show them a video demonstration. Okay, this was how we treated this issue, and we have that. You understand? Or pictures. Educate them. Do it once and do it quick, instead of coming to do the first one and then you're repeating at a higher
the exact same thing.
Paying double labor. Maybe the price would have gone up due to inflation effects.
And then you're also blaming our top coat. Oh, deluxe.
I bought
the paint was supposed to last for how many years?
10 years.
See what happened.
Another thing I also I've also encountered is that some people don't understand that every project has its own peculiar needs, right? So you probably maybe you have a friend that built on the island, and then maybe he used a kind of screed you feel you want to replicate, but then he left his house for like 3 months before painting. And his walls may have fully cured, but maybe you're not privy to that information. Or maybe he built on dry land, or he had a very, very solid damp-proof course. And then you built your own house on the island. You have issues with the weather around there. Maybe you built close to the ocean or something, and then you expect that what worked for him would work for you. And it really doesn't work like that. So project A may not need as much surface prep as project B. Project B may need a lot. Let's imagine you build your house at Banana Island and you're just by the sea. You would know that you would use more surface prep than someone who built maybe, let me say like in the village or something, where they have lots of trees protecting the houses. And with the new design of houses people do these days, this roofless flat roof houses, it exposes the walls to a lot.
Because the rains are directly falling.
Exactly, so you'll probably be comparing your house to Mr. A's house, who did, a roofing system that would protect his colors, protect his house, and all this kind of stuff.
So now let's talk about CAP's role in empowering sales conversations. Let's bring it back to CAP. We know that the company has invested heavily in painters training and then painter education. Precious, how has CAP's interventions, like the regional LMIs, like the branded visuals in stores, and even the Painters Loyalty Program, how has it helped you sell the Caplux surface conversation better? Okay,
so concerning this question, it's one that gets me very excited because the hurdles we face getting to sell this product to clients are mostly being affected by the information they have received from their first contact, which are mostly painters. You understand? You agree with me that when a client or a homeowner or property owner wants to get his wall painted, they will just call a painter and tell them that I want to paint these walls. Tell me what I need to use, tell me how many drops, or tell me the quantity I need to use, that kind of thing. And most times, they don't get to even pass the right information to them or tell them how to use this thing properly. So part of the things CAP has done is to create awareness, proper sensitization through the local market initiative, these are town storming, branded visuals, talking about demos, painters sensitization, which are painters training. We have, thank God for CAP, we have celebrated 5 years of the CAP Painters Training Academy. You understand? So these things have aided us to have painters that have more knowledge about some of the surface preparation products and all of that. So most of the time we go to clients, or when they come to our stores, they get to tell you that, see, so I need a primer first. I want to paint my house, but I also need a primer. So you just tell me that the first question I'm going to ask you is, oh, okay, so is it a virgin wall, or is it you're trying to repaint the wall? I get to ask you, like, what's the situation? Where is the house located? Are you on the island? Are you in Banana Island? Are you on the mainland? Are you in Suliri? Do you understand? How is the environment? Like, I get to suggest a primer that is going to serve you better. You understand? So these sensitizations have been able to aid us in selling this product, basically.
So I just want to add, when you look at the LMIs, especially the painters trainings that we have in color centers. So these painters, which are most of the time, they're like the first port of call when it comes to this, because they are the primary users. So we have this one-on-one session with them where they discuss with us. We take our time to explain these surface prep to them. And there was a time, during these painters trainings, we actually have them apply these things. So they apply them. We have live demonstration on site, and for many of them, it's always a first. So they see it and they're like, oh, they didn't know this could do this, or they didn't know this could do this, or maybe they had maybe some other method they used to use, but then they're like, oh, we never knew this kind of product existed. That, like, about cedar wash, we had there was a training that we had, a painters training, and we had that product. And so we decided to tell the painters, okay, let us try this wall. So one of you come and use it. And that's the thing with having people practicalize these products themselves. The I don't know, what do I call it now?
The sort of experience.
Yeah, so the experience, stays with them. It's easier. Exactly. So it's easier for them to recommend these products to customers, because they've not only heard about it, they've experienced it, they've used it. So they can tell you firsthand, like, oh, yes, you should use this. Oh, I've used this before with Dulux and it worked. So it's different from saying, oh, Dulux said to, I have used this, oh, I saw when they used this. So that's where the benefits, of having these painters training. And sometimes we even do professionals, training with professionals. So when you come to like very big projects, you have the QS, you have the, and these are the people who make the requests. You have the QS, you have the engineers, you have the architects. Sometimes when you have these people really sensitized on this product, because when it comes to some very big projects, there are sometimes some of these projects, they just send their requests. You don't have that opportunity to say, oh, why don't you use this? You don't really have the opportunity. So when you have a forum where you bring these professionals together, we had one about last year and it was amazing because many of them saw, there was a particular engineer that came that I think he had one of his projects. We gave him alkali resistant primer. The painter had issues with it, obviously, but I just insisted, let him use it. So when he really didn't understand, I tried to explain over the phone. And there's a limit to what you say over the phone. To when you have a professional seated with other professionals, and then you rub minds, you see those who have used it and they're narrating their own experience and telling you their success stories with these products. So when it comes to the LMIs, especially painters training, it's been amazing in pushing the Caplux and surface prep products. So
would you say that's like the most effective, or do you think any other initiative is really?
It's the most effective in reaching out to painters.
Okay.
In reaching out to painters is the most effective.
How about other client groups?
When you now come to homeowners, let me just say homeowners. Would I say you reach them better through billboards, the flyers, town storming? Then we go out, we're on the streets, they see us moving around, you're sharing flyers and all that. The billboards, it speaks to all those homeowners better. It speaks to some engineers, some top engineers that would not come for your, sessions. It speaks to them. he speaks to them. So when they see these flyers, they see these, and even in-store products, like he said, in the centers, we have
branded product
yes,
stands.
we have branded product stands. So there's a stand that shows you, Caplux alkali resistant primer, tells you everything about it. It instantly catches your attention, and then a curious person would want to say, okay, tell me more. That's a tell me more opportunity for homeowners. So that's how you can reach those other people.
So just to add to your point, so another we also reach homeowners and then the end users through our exhibitions, and when we also go for these events, like the Design Week Lagos that we just recently participated in. Some of the clients that we sort of interacted with were like, oh, I actually didn't know that this existed. This would really be good for my project or for my home. So we interacted with a whole lot of interior designers and then homeowners, just people who are really interested in the products that we're really talking about. Every salesperson has that one big story, that one big win that made all the effort worth it. Can you share a story from your years on the field where a customer initially resisted Caplux, but then later they were convinced, they became a believer?
Okay, so I'm going to talk about two different scenarios. So first of all, I had a client. He wanted to paint an estate. It was really massive, and I talked with him about using the screening filler, the Caplux screening filler, and so we started, and we kept going, and then we had the people he brought to screed complain, oh, it doesn't this, it doesn't that. And I explained to him, the technique behind the way the screening filler works. It's really not the way they understand.
It comes ready to use.
Exactly. So to them, they're like, oh, I prefer to buy this and buy this and buy this and mix. But the client insisted. And then for some reason, we couldn't get it at some points. And so for some parts of the building, he used the screening filler. And for another part of the building, he allowed them do their magic.
Yeah, cocktail mixing.
So this was like, it wasn't even up to 6 months down the line. He could see massive cracks on that building.
Wow.
It wasn't funny. And then we had the one we used the screening filler. It was still standing. It was still standing beautifully well.
You see external?
External.
Actually,
exactly.
I know that screening filler really is good for both internal and external.
So
very good experience.
Yeah, so he was just like, see this one, and then he was telling them, see the one you did, and see this one, and at that point they just couldn't say anything, and then
so the product speaks for itself.
Exactly. So it was, it was just a very, very proud salesperson moment for me, because I was just standing, with. And I was like, okay, see now. So it's not like I was
all glorified.
Exactly,
your product delivery.
Exactly. The second is the same man I mentioned. The person who decided not to use the primer, and then what happened, or what was supposed to happen happened.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. Precious. So I would just like you to share with us, is there a story that didn't go so well? Maybe where you tried to sort of pitch Caplux Surface Prep to a customer and then they just were not having it. Like, what did you learn from that? Like, how did that help you even re-strategize how to go about?
Okay, so truth about it was there was a time where I tried selling to a particular customer. Let me just make it home my landlord. Yes, so it took some years, and he decided to revamp the place. This was a different landlord because he bought the property over from the previous landlord. So, he needed to revamp, and I told him, my company, I work with Dulux, I work with CAP PLC, so we have this product to cover all of these issues and all of that. I told him, so he said, okay, your products are, they talk about price, and I'm like, it's value for your money. At the end of the day, to be more economical than what you're buying.
Yes.
Spread, the quality, durability, and all of that. They said, okay, well, reluctantly was like, let me see the quotation. And I shared with him the quotation, X amount. And he was now like, okay, that he would look at it. So he looked at it and he came back to me and he was like, so someone else, just a painter in particular, gave him a cheaper quote amount that was going to paint and also cover all the work. So I smiled and I left it. Would you believe that this particular painting that was done, it didn't take 2 months It didn't take 2 months and it failed. So what I did was, I decided to not just allow this thing to go by the way when I just tell them to use this product. Sometimes we do demonstration, live sampling for them. And I decided, okay, let's do a demonstration. Let's have a little application of the side and let's leave it for a period so you can see it. And we did, and we left it, and it was amazing the result it got, and we're able to close in those sales. So I think sample demonstration goes in a long way to convince them
the client
the result and the effect too.
I think I've seen that firsthand, how sampling demonstration really convinces or changes the perspective that a homeowner, a project supervisor really has on,
as opposed to you just telling
them about the products. Let's look at the bigger picture here. Changing narrative. If we zoom out, this isn't just about like selling our products, right? It's about changing how people think about painting, really. So Nkem, I'll ask you, from your perspective, what will it really take for surface prep to become as instinctive as painting in the Nigerian society? So that, if I want to paint now, it's like, yes, I know I have to do priming, or I have to make sure that my wall is properly screeded. It's not like they are still like convincing them to do those things. It is instinctive to do. What do you think it would take? Is it a cultural shift or?
Okay, so I would say that if people can begin to see surface prep to paint as foundation is to building, then I think it would help.
Yeah.
Because the cost you put in, most times you see people, like the cost they use in the foundation of a building, most times is almost equal to, if not more, than, depending on the kind of building you're erecting anyways, it's a considerable part of your budget.
Yes, definitely.
And so if people can begin to see surface prep
just like
to painting, just the way they see foundation to the building, I think it would help a lot of people, because surface prep is the true foundation of your painting.
So Precious, as someone represents newer voices in sales, how do you see your role in shifting that narrative? How do you see yourself like making prep not just a technical conversation, but like a lifestyle standard?
Okay, so for me, I the first thing I had to do when I joined CAP PLC Dulux was to practicalize the product if it works.
For you?
As a first beneficiary. So I had these walls in my house. We had painted and repainted for a long time, and for some reason they were defects. It's an old building, and I think there were leakages inside the walls, and trust me, most of these landlords are not ready to start breaking the walls and start correcting, repiping, especially when it's like 3-story, 4-story building. You know what it would take, you understand? So what they just do is try to look for ways to just manage it. So every time we painted, the walls were blistering, the paints were falling off, it was making a whole mess in my house. They had tried everything and it wasn't working. The moment I came in, I was being given my induction into the company. They took me through the research and development, the technical team, and they were showing me how the products had been made, and through the product knowledge, all the products, especially the software preparation products and what they were for. I was like, oh wow, this one does what? It treats. Oh, it does what? It cups down, it prevents blistering. I'm like, oh wow, okay, let me try it. I had to buy and also use in my house. First of all, I called the painter. I ensured I knew how it was meant to be used, and I personally instructed them how to use each of these products, especially the primers, you understand, and they used it. And believe you me, this is about a year plus since I used it. My wall has not blistered, my wall has not fallen off, the paint is still very much intact, you understand? So I made a video before
and after,
and this is a year plus down the line of that. So the first thing I do is, if I'm going to tell you how to use this product, I'm going to tell you that you need this product, I just show you a proof. Or I ask you to come and check my house. You understand? And believe you me, it's easy for me to sell. In fact, I don't know what happens, but people just keep recommending that I have people that have used this product, I've sold these products to come buy. They just come on their own to meet me. People share my numbers with other clients, and they buy for this purpose. So I think it's just being an ambassador for the brand.
I see.
Yeah.
So how do you think that homeowners, interior designers, architects, engineers. These are professionals. They sing that song, prep before paint. How do you think they can join in that conversation?
Okay, well, prep before painting, how they can join in the conversation is, imagine me putting myself in the shoes of a civil engineer or an architect or a project manager. I should be thinking about sustainability of my career, of my work, my job. You understand? So I don't want to be that project manager or that civil engineer or that architect that would do a project and then nobody wants to come back. I want to be that person that when I fulfill a project, I'll have like 5 referrals
from that
project. And how is that going to work? Giving a lasting solution.
Yeah.
A satisfactory delivery.
Yeah.
You understand? Because it's easy for you to cut corners and refuse to do proper preparation of the surface and just paint all the various things you would do in erecting a structure, and then you have complaints. So the bad project you did for me, the bad building you did for me, do you understand? And nobody wants to come back to you, as opposed to doing the right thing and then it carries you through and brings referrals. So I think this is how they can sing their song, by doing a proper work that would speak for them futuristically.
Okay, so I would say seeing the fact that these project managers, these interior designers would be the biggest losers if the project fails, is an easy way for them to come into the picture, ensure that they're carried through every of the process. Let me use an interior designer for example. Most times, the client really does not know. Sometimes some clients may not know the brand you used. All they know is the quality of your work, right? Yeah. So for an interior designer, sticking with proper surface prep before you apply your paint would give your project lasting beauty, will give it, it's going to be long lasting. And then people can easily refer you, just as Precious said. Yeah. And then you can see, let's say you have maybe you take up your time, you're an architect or you're a company, you build a very massive, beautiful structure, and then you don't take the time to do proper surface prep before you paint. And then 1 year down the line, you're looking at that building and it's faded. So would you even want to refer to that project as something you took part in? Yeah, so I think when you consider things like that, then they should play more role in
advancing the conversation.
Yeah,
I think we can all agree, or homeowners all know, that painting actually increases the value of their properties. Yes. Or even interior designers, that it increases the value of their space. So it really is just about making sure that what increases the value of your project or your investment, you make sure that it's standard, it is solid, so that you don't reduce that value by cutting corners, like you've both rightly said, by cutting corners or by doing or taking the easy way out, really.
Saying that, to add to that, I think if I imagine why architects, which are mostly project managers, or they're designed to be project managers, they tend to handle finishing products. It is because, of course, there are other parties that play in, the structure of building, but they will civil, mechanical, electrical, they would sublet this out. But finishing, when it comes to things like lighting, top coat, paint, they handle it themselves, because that is the final view that people get to see. The final view.
Not the functional itself, but also the aesthetics as well. Thank you, Nkem and Precious. This has been such a refreshing and honest discussion. It really, really highlights that while surface prep may be invincible, really, its impact is anything but invincible. Before we close, I'd like each of you to sort of share one sentence, like your final message to painters, decorators, and professionals watching this. What would be your final message to them, really?
Okay, so I would just say that the invisible step of meticulous surface preparation is the true foundation to a successful, lasting, and beautiful paint finish. So my advice would be, never skip this important first step just because you are trying to cut time or cut cost.
How about you, Precious?
So I would say, do it once, do it right. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm tempted to say clock it.
And that's it.
So thank you, Nkem, and thank you, Precious, for this wonderful conversation. It has really been exciting. And to our audience, remember that a beautiful finish starts beneath the surface. When you choose Caplux, you're not just painting, you're protecting your work, your reputation, and your client's investment. You can find Caplux products at all authorized Dulux and Santex outlets nationwide, or call our CAP care line for more inquiries. My name is Opeyemi, and this has been the Caplux Foundation Series. See you in the next episode. Caplux,
No prep, no glory.
Caplux, your foundation for perfection.